all you lovely Bitcoiners. It is Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master, back as always with my regular Monday Bitcoin for Beginners show. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. For those of you in the UK that were experiencing a bank holiday or a holiday day, as you might say, over the pond. Thank you for being on. Thank you for giving us your support. Great to have the usual crowd with us. I can see Dan from Just Learn Bitcoins on, Buffy W, Casso 20%er. Who else have we got? BTC Moon Guy, welcome. Kate Linden, great to have you with us. My lovely wife Elaine, Mrs. UK Bitcoin Master. Casso 20%, you crack me up. Look at my missus getting in the chat and being frivolous and with all the people in the chat. That's typical Elaine, as many of you know. Welcome to the show, people. It is great to have you all with us. I'm trying to sort some of my technology out here, so bear with me. That's not letting me do that now. I've gone live. So, yeah, as always, have a strong Bitcoin hand. You know this is a 20%er show. I will say, I can't really see the chat. I can see things flashing up and down, but I can't really see it. If there's something that you really want me to see, you're going to need to type in Brian space UK Bitcoin Master. Then it highlights whatever color, orange, I think, and then I can actually see it. Otherwise, I can't see what's in the chat. And over the last few shows, I've made a bit of a daft fool of myself by commenting on something in the chat that is a thread that I've missed most of, and I ain't doing that anymore. So if you want to grab my attention with something, do put in there first at Brian UK Bitcoin Master, exactly as it reads. You can copy and paste that. It's dead easy, guys. You know, copy that, paste it each time, and then I would see what you're trying to get my attention for. So today is the 26th of August 2019. Totally frightening where this year's going, you know, this century's going. Crikey, what happened to the turn of the millennium, you know, 20 years ago next year? I think actually it might be 20 years ago, actually, at the end of this year, I think. Yeah, because 1999 we turned to 2000s, didn't we? So yeah, it's the end of this year in a few months' time. 20 years since we turn that millennium. It's pretty scary where it goes. And when you get down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, it gets even scarier, frightening, because just days roll into weeks, that roll into months, because there's always something going on. I'm always on somebody else's show or watching something or reading something or on YouTube or doing my own shows. And it's just like frantic and frenzied, and don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it. It's really fantastic, but it's just going by really, really, really quickly. So as always, if my technology doesn't let me down, let me get the normal paraphernalia out of the way. Hold on, I've got to unlock that. Disclaimer, for those of you not watching this today in 2019 live, but watching it in the future, don't take anything I say as financial advice, people, because it isn't. It is simply my opinion. Do your own research, go down the rabbit hole, and if you're going to buy some crypto, do it off your own research, not based on what anybody else might say to you. I think that's really key. Secondly, ukbitcoinmaster.com is where you'll find all the videos that I've ever done. So do check out that. That's in the notes section below, as well as bitcoininterviews.com. So if you just want to watch the live interviews I've done today and will do in the future, then you know, head over to bitcoininterviews.com and you will find them there if you don't want to watch these normal shows. Zaza, great to have you with us, who's just joined us. Fantastic. Love it. Finally, if I can get rid of these two and pop that one up. If you fancy donating a tip and you've got a Lightning wallet, either on your phone or a computer, there you go. There's the Lightning code. I don't really want you to. What I really want you to do is to forward this on through social media so we can keep it up there, we can keep it current, and we can keep people watching these videos. I want people to watch these videos because when I when I got into Bitcoin, I was searching for videos to learn about Bitcoin, but most of them were really technical and talking charts and technical analysis, and it really did go over my head. So I went in search of people that were talking common sense language, if you will. So all I try to do, and I know, I cover some newspaper articles that go into stuff that newbies won't grasp. But here's the thing: if you're excited by Bitcoin, learn about it. Find the commentators that you enjoy following, watch their YouTube channels, follow them on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at UK Bitcoin Master. Do that. I'm also on another cryptocurrency platform called BitBacker.io. This also gets posted onto another crypto platform called Steemit. Waste of time at the moment, to be perfectly honest. I don't know what's going on over there at Steemit. But the idea is to have a decentralized platform to post to, instead of something like YouTube where they constantly can censor what you might say or throw you off if you say the wrong thing. So do post this out across social media. I want to get back into the habit, before we get into the news, of just saying this show is about three things. Number one, buy some Bitcoin. Number two, get it off an exchange onto a Trezor hardware device, which is offline. And then number three, get on with your life. Don't keep looking at the Bitcoin charts, because it will drive you nuts. Enjoy your family, go to work, do your holidays, whatever you do, and Bitcoin will do its thing in the background. I was talking to somebody the other day that said they started off doing trading, and they said it was totally stressful. We never slept. It was always just really, really full on. And he said, I got wrecked. So if you don't want to get wrecked, buy some Bitcoin, get it offline onto a Trezor, and then do nothing at all. Okay, so let's see if my technology is going to work, and it is. So quick look at the Bitcoin price. As you can see, nothing exciting right now, but if it was exciting every day, it would have gone to the moon by now, and we'd all be on a beach in Bali with our Lambo. Well, not on the beach with a Lambo, but you get the point. So it is going to have those periods of time where it just bobs along. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, which in fact is going sideways. Okay, and then it waits for catalysts that will make it start to pump again. And they will come, and none of us can try and predict them. They'll just come when they're ready to happen. All you've got to do is own the keys to your Bitcoin, own the seed words to your Trezor, and just hold, get on with your life. Stack sats or dollar cost average in, or put a little bit each week, fortnight, or that's 2 weekly for those in America that don't know what that is. My good friend Rocky Palumbo said to me one day, what the heck's a fortnight? So I apologize for any of those people around the world that don't sometimes understand my English terminology, but a fortnight is 2 weeks. So however you're paid, weekly, fortnightly, monthly, just work out if you can afford to take a tiny little bit of Bitcoin money aside and put it into Bitcoin. And think about this for a moment, people. We can all spend money on a new computer, a new car, another holiday, some more clothes. All of that is going to devalue over time. Whereas if you rejig what you've got coming in, even a tenner a week, a tenner a month will help you to gradually amass a Bitcoin savings pot, because you may not think this watching this show right now, but we are so early in all of this. Even a couple of $100 or $1,000 or pounds worth of Bitcoin over a period of time could be worth fortunes down the road. So I encourage each and every one of you, do your own research, go down the rabbit hole, but start dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, because it is not going to sit at 10.3 forever. It will surpass that all-time high of 2017 of just a shade. I think it just touched $20,000 for a few minutes or something on December the 17th, I believe. But, when we go again, it will go past that, and then it might hit 30, 40, 50, 80, whatever it hits. And then it will pull back down again and settle higher than 20,000. But I don't think we'll ever see a 10,000 Bitcoin again. Some people might disagree with that. Don't forget, this is just my opinion, people. Don't take anything I say as financial advice, but I would really encourage each and every one of you to get some Bitcoin. Okay, so moving on. Whoops-a-daisy, that's in the way of what I'm trying to talk about. Now, that might be interesting because I can't see the chat now. I'll do my best. Okay, I saw this on Bitcoinist. It said early Bitcoin contributor projected $10 million Bitcoin price 10 years ago. This was a guy called Hal Finney, actually, who Satoshi Nakamoto, who wrote the white paper, sent some Bitcoin to. And he actually said, you think Bitcoin Twitter is bullish. Hal Finney was calculating a Bitcoin price of $10 million a coin just 1 week after the Genesis block on the 3rd of January 2009. He was saying that was going to happen, you know, so it will happen. Now, none of us know when. It could be decades down the road, excuse me. But it will happen. Let me tell you why, in my opinion. Because Bitcoin is scarce. More and more people are seeing it as a safe haven to put their money. And therefore, as more and more people want it, and it gets more and more scarce as the halvings come around every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin produced every 10 minutes gets cut in half. So the Bitcoin halving of May 2020 means that the 12.5 Bitcoin for every 10 minutes produced now will be cut in half to 6.25 Bitcoin. And of course, that leads to scarcity. So, you know, it's really important that you try and understand this scarcity aspect, this stock to flow ratio. What does that mean? I didn't have a single clue what that meant, people, until I got on and I read The Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Ammous. And I would encourage all of you to get that book, The Bitcoin Standard, seriously. Because it talks about the history of money, where it came from, how it evolved, where Bitcoin could take its place in the future of money. I just found it a really, really fascinating book. Now, you can get it on Audible on Amazon. If you take out a 3 month trial, you get 1 free book, or you did when I did it. So I got the Audible one to listen to on headphones while I was out and about. You can read it. It depends what your preference is. But Saifedean Ammous's book, Bitcoin Standard, I would definitely read, really. UK employee explains why he chose to take his salary 100% in Bitcoin. And, you know, there's the article there about why he decided to. Now, he knows what most people don't know, that the price of Bitcoin is going to go up. And if you look at the price of Bitcoin since inception in 2009, it has only gone up. But of course, it's gone up and down, but predominantly it's moving in that. Which way are you looking at me? Well, let's do that. That direction. Well, that direction. It is always heading in an upward direction. And he's not silly by saying, I want to take my salary in Bitcoin. He knows it's volatile, but a clever dude indeed. I would say that. Oh, hang on. Have I missed one there? No. Okay. Excuse me again. Data findings suggest Bitcoin price will continue to rise, says qualitative researcher. What is that about? Just something I picked up that I thought worth sharing. I did highlight something here. Yeah, here we go. It says, according to Hauge, Bitcoin sentiment is currently similar to that of early 2017. As many will remember, 2017 saw the price of Bitcoin skyrocket to its all-time high of $20,000. Hauge also sent a tweet of a chart pointing to this, saying that the Bitcoin bubble tops are clearly identified with a dark red cluster of a giant adjusted binary BDD. BDD explains what that is in the article if you want to read it. Hang on a second. For those unfamiliar with the seeming techno babble, BDD stands for Bitcoin Days Destroyed, beg your pardon, it's there. A technical metric for Bitcoin. Specifically, BDD is a Bitcoin data point signifying the amount of time between movements of a specific amount of Bitcoin. Generally, high Bitcoin prices lead to more rapid movement of coins. However, notes, I probably butchered that to death, notes that currently Bitcoin is not displaying any of these trends. Rather, the red cluster previously mentioned is a general sentiment, and that suggests Bitcoin price is not at the top. Hodge continues. Well, listen, I know it's not at the top. It's nowhere near at the top. Now, they say we're in a bull run, but this is not the end of that bull run. Seriously. So, again, another indicator why you need to dollar cost average into Bitcoin. Great to see articles like this, crypto scammer, court orders crypto scammer to forfeit his assets to the victims. Way to go. Fantastic. Now, we are moving into a let the market decide, a free market. And sometimes, as Adam Meister says, we've got to take personal responsibility. Now, I just like this because, people are getting frauded out of their cryptocurrencies because they're not understanding this new tech yet. And this is nice to see that, a court ordered whoever this scammer is to pay that back. The Bitcoin price just did something it's never done before. What is that about? Okay. Bitcoin has been hawked as a safe haven asset for quite some time now, with bulls crediting the rising price of the cryptocurrency in 2019 to macroeconomic uncertainties and geopolitical tensions arising out of the US-China trade war. Take that with a grain of salt, but all of these things do play a part in what happens in the world. Recent price action suggests that Bitcoin might finally be operating as a real-time macroeconomic hedge, as pointed out by economist and trader Alex Kruger. I watched a Simon Dixon video recently that was talking on the similar lines about, it is well worth, particularly those out in Hong Kong and countries like that, it is well worth putting a position in Bitcoin as a hedge against what's going on in your country and what your governments are doing. US man pleads guilty to running 25 million Bitcoin laundering scheme. Okay, why is this article there? Because this is what the FUD machine, the media, people that don't want Bitcoin to succeed always want to pick up on. Okay, I think it says something here. Did I highlight something down here? No, I didn't. But it did say something about, where is it? If I can find it. Yeah, here it is, this bit here. The author says that from 2015 to 2017, Calra exchanged BTC and dollars, ran a Bitcoin ATM and admitted to making deals with drug dealers and other criminals. Well, those fudsters, that is their red rag to a bull, as we say in the UK. See, Bitcoin's for drug runners, gangsters, don't get into it. Let me tell you now, more drugs and guns have been purchased with US dollars, and to keep it even, British pounds and euros, than anything you'll ever find in Bitcoin. That is like, and I heard this on BTC Benny's show, which I thought was wicked. He said, that is like saying, there goes that scammer. He's got Nike trainers on. Don't buy Nike. Ridiculous statement. Excuse me, but I just wanted to point that out to you all. Okay, a few tweets I saw. I've heard this name Brian Kelly bounded around. I don't actually know who the dude is. He's probably a big figure out there in the world. Somebody will probably tell me. But the Four Satoshis decided, posted this tweet. Brian Kelly's portfolio. Bitcoin 30%, Ether 15%. Ethereum Classic, sorry. You can see the breakdowns of all of them there. Now, what does it say there? Great job, Brian Kelly. You turned 10,000 into 13,300 in 2 years. Should have bought and held Bitcoin, I think is what this is referring to. There's another good one. You get into Bitcoin to make money. Speculation. You stay in Bitcoin to change money. Love that. I got into Bitcoin speculation. My friend said to me, you really want to get some because the price is really going to moon at some point. That's speculation. But when I read the Bitcoin Standard, or I listened to the Bitcoin Standard, it made me realize that I'm in Bitcoin because I know Bitcoin is going to change the future of money. It's going to change the future of banking, how we view money, how we handle money, how we live in a digital world. We're already in a digital world, but you know, this is much more than just a two-liner. It really is. My tabs at the top are not very good and they don't highlight which one I'm on. So I can't see if I'm going backwards or forwards. I want that one now. Okay, now look at the bottom. Why a Nobel laureate in economics thinks Bitcoin is toast. The price of Bitcoin has slowly gained back up some of its value after a precipitous drop this month. Now, look at the top bit. The problem with Bitcoin, which is a quote from the Nobel laureate, the problem with Bitcoin at the moment is it is not a government-controlled currency. That is the point of Bitcoin. We want to take control away from those governments that wreck people's lives, that ruin countries, that line their own pockets, that are devious, that manipulate, that create wars for revenue. That's the whole idea of this. There's a realistic chance that Bitcoin could become widely used world money. If that happens, the price 10 million per Bitcoin sounds completely realistic, about 1,000x increase from today. Stock to flow model predicts this is around 10 years. So start to look back at, Bitcoin's 10 grand. Imagine you had 1,000 quid's worth, or pounds, or dollars, or euros, or whatever. Okay, And this is, you have to take these with a grain of salt, okay? But I'm just trying to get it in your face that if one Bitcoin could be worth 10 million and one Bitcoin's 10,000, a tenth of a Bitcoin could be worth 1 million. So is that worth dollar cost averaging and building your Bitcoin stash up through each wage? My God, yeah. My God, yeah, because, 1,000 could be 1 million. Well, 100 then could be, am I right in saying 100,000? No, I might get that wrong. The point is, if that 1,000x, whatever you've got, that is worth getting into Bitcoin for. There you go, I've gone backwards again. Blimey. Zach, love this one. Bitcoin only. Dollar cost average in, cold storage. It's literally that simple. What he's just said there is a different way of saying what I've said, and that is buy it, put it on your Trezor, get on with life. That is all that is saying, but he said it differently. Way to go, Zach. Yep, that's where I'm at. Exactly that. Do you know what? I lead a stress-free life in terms of worrying about what's happening with Bitcoin when I have an app on my phone, a HODL app, and I must check that app for the Bitcoin price. In fact, I probably don't check it once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. If I actually go into my Discord, I might just, because I'm in the same folder, utilities folder, crypto folder, I might just tap and see what's going on. But I don't sit there constantly looking what's happening to Bitcoin, because people freak out when it drops $200. But then it goes up $200. Well, this is where I want to help you build your strong hand. If you're freaking out because the Bitcoin you hold has dropped down 200, what the hell are you going to do when Bitcoin is, say, 100 grand and it drops down 20 grand in a heartbeat? And then it goes up 20. And then it drops 50 grand and goes up 50. That is where we are going to weed out the weak hands. Because the 20% mentality understands that the bigger the price of Bitcoin gets, the bigger swings in terms of fiat currency we're going to experience. You're going to have to get used to that, people. If you're in the Bitcoin overlay, you really are. Okay, so quick shout out to the show sponsors, justlearnbitcoin.com. Dan from Just Learn Bitcoin, I know, is on the show. Dan, it's great to have your support as always. I want to get this out there because I keep forgetting, Dan. I apologize. I come off every show and I say, dash, I forgot again. You know, there is a donation. I think it might be to the end of August. Dan, if that's changed, please put it in the chat. Where anything bought on the merch side of Just Learn Bitcoin, where are we? Shop, I think it's there. And there's t-shirts, there's all sorts there. Will be donated to Pastor Phil's cause. Help. Oh, look, I'm having a problem with my bandwidth, clearly, so we might not get there. But yeah, there's all sorts of merch. Check it out, people. You know, some great Bitcoin stuff. If you really want to get something on that when you wear out, you know, people ask you about Bitcoin. Here's the thing. I've got my Bitcoin t-shirts. This is, you know, Don't Panic Hodl. I've got my UK Bitcoin Master. Ask me about Bitcoin. Do you know what nobody does? Absolutely nobody does. Apart from one guy, I don't think he's in the chat, but he might watch this on catch up. We went for a boating ride down the canal several weeks ago, and I had that on, and this guy started chatting with me, and it turns out I think he was in a trading scheme or something, and I really tried to enforce that he should buy and hold Bitcoin himself, and he's been on the show a few times, and that was really great. When that happened, I got into that Bitcoin conversation, and it was absolutely fantastic. It really was. So in terms of what is Just Learn Bitcoin about, if you're new, it is somewhere to go to learn all about Bitcoin. It is somewhere to go to get your merchandise, so some of it gets donated to Pastor Phil's course. It is somewhere to go to learn about wallet setup and backup, long-term storage solutions, including end-of-life planning, coin splitting, airdrops, retrieving, if you can, coins sent to the wrong chain, mining questions. It is all there. They've got everything on the Just Learn Bitcoin site. But there is a button where you can also head over to this site. Please help return 14.2 Bitcoin to Phil and his family. And listen, if I turn you off, I don't care. I am flabbergasted at how many people go over and check this site out. There's a couple of videos on what happened to Pastor Phil's Bitcoin. It really is a moving story. You know, don't just walk past this. Go and check these videos out. Rocky Palumbo on the top, on the video I did, he really explained how Phil, it wasn't even a phishing attack. Where is it now? It was, I always try to explain, it was a DNS BGP hijacking attack. Phil literally went to do a firmware update on his Trezor, and he pressed, as you normally do, and then it wanted the seed words to go back in, but at the top in the address bar, over on the very left, there was some red writing that he never saw, and it was that stole his Bitcoin. And Phil has done such good for his community and the world at large, being a pastor. He's taken in disadvantaged children and brought them up. And this was for his retirement when he when he'd left this earth, to leave for his family and his daughter Katie, who does have special needs. And he's heartbroken that he's got nothing to leave her. And I'm flabbergasted at the amount of people that go and check this site out, which you can do here. Head over, click to go to Tallycoin to make a donation, and then people leave the site without just donating a tiny fraction of Bitcoin. Are you telling me with what you're accumulating, you can't leave $5, $2, $10, $20 of Bitcoin for this cause? Well, forgive me if you've done that. Shame on you. Reverse the roles. Have a bit of empathy for what this guy's going through. You know, to open up your Trezor the next day and see zero must be horrific when you'd accumulated what you'd accumulated. How would you feel if that happened to you? And there were some people out there, you know, rooting for you, like me, trying to push Phil's cause to help him get even a little bit of it back for Katie. And everybody's going over and looking, but nobody's leaving a donation. Please, 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 I encourage you all, head over there and donate a titchy bit of Bitcoin. In fact, it could even be Litecoin, if you've got any. It could be B-Rhodium, if you've got a bit of that as well. I think also Mimblewimble might be coming, if I'm not mistaken. Lead developer at MWC Coin, Chris Gilliard, is donating a massive chunk of his MWC that he's getting, because he holds Bitcoin, to Phil's cause, which is an incredible thing. And Chris, if you're watching this, way to go. Fantastic. We've donated twice. Go over there and donate, people. Enough said. Sorry about that. I needed to get that off my chest. Okay, as always, I want to leave you with a quote, if this hasn't disappeared, because I am big on quotes. And this is relevant again to Bitcoin. Think about this. When you're stacking your sats, when you are talking to your loved ones and your friends about they should get some Bitcoin, all they want to do is ask you why you're involved in that. It's one of those things, it won't come to anything. So at first they will ask why you're doing it. If you hold strong, if you have that 20% mentality and you hold firm for the next handful of years, for you a lot younger than me, you should never be moving a bit of your Bitcoin until at least the 2024 halving. My strategy is to 2025, but of course the 2020 halving's coming around. You should really be saying, well, I'm holding it. It's educating me on savings again. Do you remember when we were younger, we were all taught to have little savings plans? Well, let me give an example, a live example of that. I need a new Mac computer, and the one that I want, that gives me everything I want for my live streaming and everything I do, is really expensive. It's 3,600 British pounds. Now, here's the challenge. My brain is saying, hang on to this Mac. There's another half a Bitcoin. That's how my brain's thinking. Oh, crikey, my Mac will end out going downhill again, whereas that Bitcoin will only rise. And I'm in this quandary. But you see, the challenge is you can't hold your Bitcoin forever, and you certainly can't take it with you. So therefore, we all have to get to a point where we start to do something with it in terms of spending. Now, for me, I could put that into Bitcoin, but I need to upgrade my computer. So unfortunately, it's something that I have to do. The point of this one is, at first they will ask you what the hell you're playing at. And then they'll ask you why, ask you how you did it. And you simply say, I had a strong Bitcoin hand. I held it. I didn't listen to the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I didn't listen to or watch the mainstream media coming out with all the rubbish. I simply held my Bitcoin. And if you do that, I'm telling you, you are in such an incredible place. And in a decade from now, you will be absolutely staggered at how yours and your family's financial lives will change. Seriously. So guys, that is our show for today. Again, I don't even think I said it earlier. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, bash the bell button so that you get notified. If you bash the bell button, you'll get a YouTube notification an hour before I go live. It's set up that way. Then you won't miss any of my shows if you don't want to miss them, of course. You don't have to be on them if you don't want to either. This is going to go up on Steemit, so check in a bit later, and do me a favour, if you use Steemit, an upvote and a re-steam would be gratefully appreciated as well. But really and truly, I would encourage you all to just pick up the link to this video, go over to your Twitter account, forward it and say, hey, well, if you thought it was a great show with some energy, inspiration, just say to people, you ought to check out UK Bitcoin Master's video. It is great. He's very inspirational. I don't know. You don't have to say that. I'm saying if you felt that. If you don't feel any of it and you're just here because you want to be on with your normal friends in the chat, then I respect that and I get that as well. Not a problem at all. So that is the end of tonight's show. Thanks for tuning in, people. As always, let's get some more people over to the channel if we can, get the subs up, etc. Go and support Pastor Phil, please. I'd appreciate it. I will catch you all on Thursday at the normal time of 6 p.m. I'm also massively excited to be sharing with you all next Monday, a week from tonight, my special guest for next Thursday. I'm really excited about this dude. He's got a ton of energy and a load of belief in where Bitcoin is going in the future. So I'll let you know who that is next Monday. But for me, Brian, the UK Bitcoin master, and my lovely wife and my lovely daughter and my lovely granddaughter that are all in the chat, thanks for watching the channel. I will catch you all on Thursday. I'm out of here. Bye for now. Cheers, everyone.